Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Buffalo, New York. Tuesday Night Football on the SFL Network on YouTube. Coming to you live from Conpro Field. It's the Baltimore Crabs versus the Queen City Corsairs. Next. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Kevin Irvine. Baltimore on a franchise worst four-game losing streak. Queen City is hot at the right time, trying to clinch tonight. Will Baltimore take it all away from them? Will Queen City's streak continue? Coin toss right now. Baltimore will kick off. Kicker James Richards will do the honors. From Buffalo, New York, Baltimore. Kick it! Thrown away! From the 10. Jason Legacy, the 29. Quarterback for Queen City is A.J. Caswell. Averaging 260.9 yards per game, completing 69% of his passes. Queen City in the All Blacks. Baltimore in the All Whites. First play of offense tonight. A run to Marcus Allen Boas. Was a Queen City first down. Marcus Boas 129 yards away from breaking the SFL rushing record. 138 yards away from becoming the first ever SFL running back to have a 2,000-yard season. With four wide receivers after the 13-yard pickup for Boas on his first carry, he will carry again, and this time will be dropped for no gain. Baltimore defensive front gets after Boas there. Davidson on the tackle will be tracking Marcus Boas's carries all night long as we track the record. 13 yards on 2 carries so far. Two backs and 2 receivers for Caswell. Caswell with a deep drop back. Back to pass outside, just caught. Eddie Gage was in the vicinity. T.E. Haynes the third. Running back turned receiver makes the catch for 3 yards. 3rd down and 7. A.J. Caswell has seen a resurgence. 3 of his last 4 games with a quarterback rating of over 100. In the last 4 games, 9 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions for Caswell. That was coming off of 5 straight games with multiple interceptions. Caswell has really cleaned up his act. 3rd down and 7. He's going long. That pass is caught. Alexander Shayatovich with a touchdown. Queen City's on the board first. And Conpro Field out of their minds as Caswell has his 10th touchdown in the last 17 quarters, right over the top of Jeffrey Dezer, and Alexander Shayatovich is once again in the end zone in prime time. Does that man know how to step up in the biggest moments? 6 touchdowns for Shayatovich this season. For Shayatovich, it's just his 3rd touchdown since week 4. He got off that fast start at 160 yards and 2 scores against Atlanta, season highs. And off to a rocking start tonight. 9:27 to go in the first quarter. The Corsairs have early 7-0. Baltimore, as mentioned, on a 4-game losing streak, lost 26-13 to the Aztecs. 38-35 to Queen City, then got blown out by Tallahassee, gave up over 50 points for the first time, 52-23 loss. And then last week, probably the most stunning, a 17-13 home loss to St. Louis. And Josh Packmeyer returns up to the 30. Baltimore looking for a spark. Their quarterback is Andrew Rastelli, averaging 300.6 yards per game. He does complete 73% of his passes, but that is partially due to Swing City being relocated to Baltimore. Sanzo Robinson averages 10 catches a game. That is most in the league. Has exactly 100 on the season for 517 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. With 3 in the backfield, Rastelli will start with Robinson. Robinson out past the 35, picks up 7 yards. Sanzo Robinson in the last game against St. Louis had 63 yards and a touchdown. Folks, this is the stat of the season. Robinson against St. Louis had two carries for a Gold Star running back. That cannot possibly be what the doctor ordered for Baltimore, as the Crabs scored just 13 points in that one. I would expect to see a bit more from Sanzo on the ground tonight. Out of the eye, he's going to take a carry. And Robinson's got a first down, 45 to the 47-yard line. Really nice start for Sanzo Robinson and the Baltimore offense, moving the ball up to midfield. Robinson, 158 carries, so if you think about that, for every 1.5 carries he gets, he also has a reception. 647 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. Overall, 10 touchdowns on the season. Robinson on a swing, outside, got just 1 yard to the Crab 48-yard line. Nice tackle made by Espen Real, the former Cleveland Viper. 2nd and 9, 8:25 to go in the first quarter. The Crabs receiving core: Mike Osai, Kendall Gilbert, Josh Packmeyer, Daley Holder. Holder with 6 catches, Packmeyer 25 for 254. Mike Osai has 6 touchdowns on 84 catches, but Kendall Gilbert is their deep threat. 1,112 yards receiving on the season, top 5 receiver in the league. Robinson with another catch, this time on a check down, pickup of 3, 3rd down and 5 at the Corsair 48-yard line. Osai with 15 more catches, but 150 plus less yards, 5 less touchdowns, averaging about 95.4 yards a game. 3 receivers for Rastelli on a 3rd down and 5. Robinson's touched the ball on 4 straight plays. Back to pass, Rastelli's got an open receiver. Osai falls down. They ruled him short of the first down because he is ruled down at contact with the ground. I believe that will be worth a challenge from Baltimore. I don't agree with the call at all. Instead, the offense will remain on the field for the Crabs. The ball is literally sitting on the first down line. That is a horrendous call by the officials. And Baltimore's going to go for it. And they've got Robinson in the flat. He's got a first down, just barely. Really nice job by Espen Real, who's making a living on the outside, tackling Robinson early. But it's enough for Baltimore to stay on the field. And how about that? Baltimore down 7-0 on its opening drive. Goes for it on 4th down instead of challenging. As you look at Kendall Gilbert matched up against Stenzo Woods Jr. on the outside. Rastelli to pass. Over the middle, pass off short. That's Daley Holder's 7th catch of the season. Picks up 7 to the Corsair 35-yard line. And Baltimore is matriculating the ball down the field. Queen City has no star corners. Jesus Salvador and Greg Morrison lead the secondary. At linebacker, DJ McCoo and Espen Real. And on the defensive line, it's Koa Kaleo, Ed Ritter, and Jimmy Ritchie, who have combined this season for 15 sacks. Rastelli over the middle, caught by Mike Osai, the Queen City 23-yard line. And Baltimore is moving. Espen Real leads the Queen City defense in tackles with 78. Ed Ritter leads the Corsair defense in sacks with 7.5. Greg Morrison has 9 interceptions for 91 yards. The new SFL record for interceptions is 13 in the season. Rastelli to pass. Check down to Robinson, and Robinson is blown over the backfield, no gain. Robinson already 4 catches, but for just 6 yards. Shayatovic has the game's only touchdown on that 55-yard perfect bomb from A.J. Caswell. 2nd down and 10 at the 24. 5:20 to go in the first quarter. Rostelli and company hand off to Sanzo Robinson, and Robinson will pick up just one. 3rd and 9 at the Queen City 22 coming up. Expen Real again. Real making things happen. On the defensive side for Real, his season high of 13 tackles came against Houston back on February 6th. He only has 3 assisted tackles in the last 6 games, so he's either making the tackle or he's not. Rostelli deep to the end zone, one-on-one coverage, passes incomplete, knocked away by the non-star corner. Stenzo Woods Jr. doing a nice job on Kendall Gilbert, who goes catchless on that opening drive, and Richards will have to come out and attempt a field goal. Shout-outs to all chat participants right now. Colin Northrup, Derek Overstreet, Eddie Gage, Flava 2K, and company. And it looks like I totally lost the chat now. Can't see what anybody's saying. Richards has a 39-yard field goal. There it is. And 39 yards out, and that field goal for Baltimore is good. 4:41 to go in the first quarter. Both teams score on their opening possession. Crabs 3, Queen City 7. Shan Varner in the house, Colin Northup in the house, AJ Levy in the house, Eddie Gage in the house, Alex Dominguez, Dwayne Schindler in the house, DeAndre Noel in the house, I'm Effing Problem is here, DK Sim Football Breakdowns is here, Josh Packmeyer is here, The Walking Greg is here, CAG NFL is here, Eric Barkley is here, Malcolm Smith, Marty RX, and more. For tonight's big showdown in Buffalo. From the 9-yard line, Legacy on the return. Legacy on his feet from 30. Still looking for his first catch of the night. Queen City trying to clinch its 6th postseason berth in 8 seasons. An incredible franchise and borderline dynasty that the Corsairs have had. 3 championships in 7 seasons. I think if they won another one, there would be no question in anybody's mind that this team is the greatest of all time. If people don't already think that anyway. And off to Marcus Allen, Boas who's chasing the record. He just blows through a defensive lineman. That was Davidson. Boas made that look incredibly easy. That's a defensive lineman, and he just throws him to the side. Boas now 24 yards on 3 carries. And Caswell has an early perfect quarterback rating. 1st and 10 to the 41. Backfield, Caswell 3-step drop back to pass down the middle. Overshot the intended target. He hit Tyleek Jones in the kneecap. T.E. Haynes was the intended receiver, but that was a dangerous throw from Caswell. Caswell moving up the quarterback efficiency boards, now 6th in the league with a quarterback rating of 86.5, 18 touchdowns, 18 picks. And close will pick up just a yard. 25 yards on 4 carries as we track his potential rushing record-setting night. Andrew Rostelli, for those of you wondering, 3rd in the league in quarterback rating, 94.8. Just 1 percentage point, 0.1% behind Skeletor P-Funk. Pass, straight back, Caswell over the middle, caught, and that is short. That looks like a bad spot. Boy, the refs are asleep at the wheel tonight. Gave Baltimore a terrible spot on an Osai catch. That spot was no better. And Queen City's offense is still on the field. Will they go for it on 4th and short? Coach is keeping the challenge flags in their pocket in the first quarter. They will go for it on 4th and short. Caswell's pass is dropped. He dropped it over the middle. That's D.D. Ritter, who caught the game winner against Baltimore the last time these two teams played. And the Crabs will take over. What a crucial drop by Ritter, wide open over the middle. And Baltimore dodges a bullet maybe twice and has excellent field position to start their second drive. Three in the backfield. Rastelli will swing it out to Robinson, who's got a lot of room, and Robinson picks up a first down. Attacking these non-star corners in a variety of ways, although so far the most successful way to do that has been the swing pass. When Rastelli has tried to go deep down the field, Stenzo Woods Jr. and Michael Gibson have been there to do a pretty nice job. 1st and 10 at the 40 of Queen City.
1st and 10 from your Pirates, 39 yards.
First down for Baltimore, 2:50 to go in the first quarter. Pass is short out to Osai, and a nice open field tackle made there by Gibson. Pick up a 5 yards to the Corsair 34-yard line.
Second and 4. 34 yards.
2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Queen City coming off a 52-17 smackdown over Sioux Falls about 9 days ago. And Robinson, and Robinson is met in the backfield. One-on-one, Robinson very slow to get up there. Baltimore cannot afford to lose Robinson. They did, so he is still in the game. Baltimore lost Robinson in a game earlier this year. That was against Mexico City. And they only put up 13 points that game. Deep ball, Gilbert's got him beat. Touchdown, Baltimore. Kendall Gilbert gets the better of Stenzo Woods Jr. this time. And he finds the end zone for the 12th time this season, and Baltimore has the lead. Perfect pass from Rastelli, right on the money, drop in the bucket, makes it happen.
Number 7 is back for the point after. Number 8 will hold the kick.
Gilbert's 12 touchdowns, now just second to Jalen Miller this year, who has 14. He had 3 of those 14 in the fourth quarter just a couple of days ago against St. Louis. Other receivers that have 11 touchdowns, Nick T. Quick and K.O. Barrett of Mexico City and Atlanta. Quick, a former member of Mexico City when they were Santa Fe. Big legacy on the return of the 27-yard line. Queen City will start again. Marcus Allen Boas, 4 carries, 25 yards early. Caswell over to Haynes, and Haynes has a first down. Boy, Haynes has been the favorite target of Caswell here early. 3rd on the team with 42 receptions. But leads the team in touchdowns, and Haynes is making it happen. Baltimore up 10-7 with 1:35 to go in the first quarter. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Cameron Irvine. Final game of Week 13. Andy Hamilton, Eric Vincent, and I will be meeting to discuss the Week 14 broadcast schedule as we want to finalize that as quickly as possible for you. Pass is dropped over the middle by Shayatovich. Second drop of the game for Queen City. As of this moment, every single SFL game matters in Week 14. There's not a single game that will pit 2 teams that have nothing to play for. How about that?
2nd and 10. Ball at the
It's going to make for a very interesting broadcast schedule as we try to make the final days of the regular season as dramatic as possible. 2nd and 10 at the 37, handoff to Marcus Allen. Boas! Oh, great couple of blocks as Boas bursts between the blockers for a touchdown. Wowzers! I have never seen two blocks come together at a more perfect time. Watch this down the field, ba-bam! And Boas is near 100 yards and near the rushing record here in the first quarter. Wow, that's just tremendous blocking down the field. And we've got a shootout in quarter number 1. 4 possessions and 4 scores between these two teams. Extra point for the Corsairs is good. An experience like no other. The SFL playoffs begin Sunday, April 23rd with a quadruple header. Andy Hamilton, Eric Vincent, myself, Stephen Mullinex, all along for the playoff calls. The conference finals will feature our own James Richards as our guest analyst in the booth. And Damon Simeon will be here for the 8th edition of the SFL championship game. His Hyenas still trying to clinch a playoff spot. That's all coming up in the next few weeks right here on the SFL Network on YouTube. Pat Meyer return out to the 30. And the Crabs will start again. 3rd possession. They've scored on both
1st and 10.
of their early possessions. 4 receivers for the Crabs, 2 to either side, and Rastelli will start the drive with a pass to Robinson, and Queen City's all over it. Loss of 4, Robinson just 13 yards on 6 catches in 1 quarter. It's just not working.
Hey.
Against St. Louis, Robinson had 98 yards on 17 catches, so it was much more successful. Pass is caught for a 5-yard pickup. That's Daley Holder again. Has 6 catches in his first 10 games, has 2 in this quarter. Aiden Friday's in the house. Flava 2K is in the building. 3rd down and 9 at the 31 as the first quarter is winding to a close. Back to pass, Rastelli. Rastelli floats one, nearly picked off by Gibson. That would have gone all the way back. And we have our first defensive stop of the evening. It belongs to Queen City. Even if that pass were to have been caught, would not have gone for much of anything. Robinson has actually been pretty successful in the swing game, just looking at the numbers in the losses. 8 catches for 69 yards and 2 scores a couple of weeks ago against Tallahassee in that loss. The last time they played Queen City, Robinson had just 6 catches for 62 yards. He already has that many catches tonight, but for just 13 yards. 1st and 10 at the 37 for Queen City. Two in the backfield, Marcus Allen Boas approaching the SFL rushing record. A deep pass is way off the mark. Ritter was wide open, but Eddie Gage applying some pressure in the backfield. That's the end of the first quarter. Your score, Baltimore 10, Queen City 14. Corsairs can clinch a playoff spot with a victory tonight. Off to a good start, up by 4. This is the SFL Network on YouTube. Eddie Gage leads the Baltimore Crabs in tackles with 106. In fact, that leads the SFL. And off to Boas. Boas has a first down. And Boas has got to be at this point very close to the record. Lost track of his yardage. I was trying there. At 25 yards on 4 carries was when he busted out his big run. Sure we'll get an updated stat report on him soon. Queen City may be the best rushing team. Back to pass Caswell over to Boas, or actually, no, that is Boas on the outside. He lost 2 yards. Boas only averages 4 receptions a game, so he's not used that way. Definitely a force up the middle. Second down and 12 of the 46 following the 2-yard loss for Queen City. Pass, Caswell steps up in the pocket, pass caught. First down to the Baltimore 41, Alexander Shayatovich. Queen City playing in an SFL record 84th game tonight. Played their 80th game against Baltimore on March 13th. And Baltimore actually opened up its franchise with a game against the then New York Knights, same franchise. First and 10 of the Baltimore 41, Caswell back to pass, deep drop back, deep throw, that pass is caught! Beautiful ball to Shayatovich, who's got 97 yards in the first half, and Queen City's in the red zone. They cannot be stopped. Caswell, good presence in the pocket, and he just unloads one. Baltimore's defense dead last in the league against the run, giving up 150 yards a game, 9th in total defense, 7th in scoring defense, and 3rd in pass defense. Caswell hands it off to Boas. Boas will pick up a tough set of yards, gain of 6 to the 7. Second down and 4, and Baltimore needs their defense to step up and make a play. Caswell's going to throw it. Caswell on a slant, touchdown! T.E. Haynes III with his 7th of the season, and Queen City's got 3 touchdowns on 3 possessions. The Corsairs are racing to the top of the offensive leaders. They are 2nd in the league now in scoring offense, 3rd in the league rather, in scoring offense, although I think that's a misprint. I believe they are 2nd, 32.9 points per game this season, and when you factor in all of their scores, Queen City's averaging 33.7 points per game this season. That is 2nd, only behind Tallahassee, who averages 36. Baltimore's offense is going to have to keep pace with Queen City tonight, it would appear, because the Corsair offense has been playing out of its mind in recent games. Probably the most underrated team in the SFL since February 19th has had just one game where they've scored less than 34 points. They lost to Carolina here at home 28-20. In fact, this is the fourth game of a four-game homestand for Queen City before finishing up the season at Tallahassee. First and 10 at the 26 for Rastelli against a blitz. The pass is picked off. Missed a wide open receiver. Greg Morrison's got his 10th interception. I am telling you what, I have never seen a receiver more wide open over the middle, and Rastelli just flat missed him. Look at inside, all alone. Who was that running that route? I think it was Osai. That would have easily been a touchdown. Instead, Queen City's got it going the other way. Awful decision by Rastelli, and I mean awful. First down and scoring position for the Corsairs. Four receivers in an empty set for Caswell. Back to pass. Caswell over to Shayatovich. That pass is caught over the defense, and Shayatovich nearly got a first down. He's got 106 yards in the first half receiving. If Queen City wins, it would be Baltimore, Atlanta, and Carolina fighting for the final playoff spot. All Atlanta would need is a victory. Baltimore would need a win and an Atlanta loss to St. Louis to get in. As the handoff goes to Boas, he's got a first down and a stiff arm and a touchdown! Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the new SFL rushing record leader, Marcus Allen Boas, and Queen City's up 17. Oh, Deshaun Miller just got absolutely destroyed. Again, Atlanta would need just a win against St. Louis. Baltimore would need a win over Carolina and an Atlanta loss to St. Louis. Carolina would need the same. A win over Baltimore and a St. Louis win over Atlanta. Again, if Baltimore loses, the Crabs and Skyhawks would both need help. Atlanta can escape the drama by just taking care of business against St. Louis, and then the Crabs-Skyhawks game would mean nothing. Baltimore has to find a pulse. Queen City has 4 touchdowns on 4 possessions in a little under 14 minutes. Backmeyer put down at the 29. Baltimore not only in danger of losing their 5th straight game, but they're also in danger of missing the playoffs for the first time in franchise history.
First and 10.
Rastelli's got split backs and has to move. Rastelli, wonky looking pass just to get out of pressure. It's incomplete. Shayatovich is crushing this Crab defense that's full of talent. And the fact that Queen City's had such success passing the ball, despite Baltimore's really stingy pass defense, has been pretty surprising. 3 receivers, 2 off the left side. Rastelli. Deep ball down the middle, intercepted by the linebacker, Espen Real. This is getting ugly quick. Espen Real getting involved. His 2nd interception of the season, and as he goes up for it, pass intended for Mike Osai. When the wheels are falling off. Caswell back to pass, and Caswell's pass is caught by Legacy. Pickup of 8. Ball at the 40, 7:53 to go. That's Boas, I believe, with the reception.
Let's go. 2nd and 2.
Baltimore's defense, you just have to imagine they got to get some sort of a stop. Field goal, turnover, punt, something. Boas on the carry. Boas first down. Boas is pushing for more to the 32. He's got 128 yards at this very moment. That gives him exactly 1990, which is tied with Johnny English for the SFL rushing record. There's no question that he's going to break it and become the league's first 2,000-yard rusher at this pace. Now the question is when. In the backfield, Boas says, "I'll do it right now." Boas has 5 yards. 1995 for the season. 2nd and 5 at the Baltimore 27. It's a shame he's not here to enjoy it.
2nd and 4. 26 yards.
2nd and 5. Haynes, bottom of the screen. Shajatovich, top of the screen. Gonna give it to Boas again. Boas gets a couple of kick blocks. Gets a block from T.E. Haynes. That is a first down to the 14. And is the SFL's first ever 2,000-yard rusher. Man, he's just getting every single block. The fullback, the pulling guard, the receiver. Deshaun Miller makes the tackle.
1st and 10. From the Crabs, 14 yards.
Back to pass. Queen City's pass tipped and picked off at the 5. What a stop, Deshaun Miller. Baltimore really needed that one. And they finally stopped the bleeding. Pass again intended for Ritter and off his hands. And now the Crabs can get something cooking. From the 5-yard line, Rastelli with 3 in the backfield. Back to pass, out to Robinson. Robinson lost another yard. Baltimore just spinning its wheels. As you look at the updated numbers for Caswell, that one interception really not his fault. D.D. Ritter having a tough night. 2nd down, 11 at the 4. 5:38 to go in the first half. 3 receivers for the Crabs. Rastelli 3-step drop, standing on his goal line. Pass caught by Gilbert, but only for a few yards. 3rd and 8 at the 7 coming up. If Queen City does win, they will clinch the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, and they will either travel to Tallahassee if the Pride lose to the Corsairs. What a storyline that would be. Or to Sioux Falls in a rematch of a playoff game that was played a few seasons ago, as that's not going to move the chains. Baltimore will have to punt. So again, if Queen City wins, they secure the 3 seed. They will be at Tallahassee if Queen City beats the Pride next week, or they will be at Sioux Falls if they lose to the Pride next week. And that would be a rematch of a season 6 playoff game that Queen City won on the road in the 3-2 matchup. Haynes returns to the Crab 47. .501 to go, so Baltimore's defense finally gets a turnover, and what does its offense do? Go 3 and out. First down and 10 at the 47, 5:01 to go in the second quarter. Queen City playing like a legit title contender tonight. Caswell kicked off at the 35. Jeffrey Deserve, back-to-back interceptions for A.J. Caswell, who has not had a multiple interception game since February 26th, when Queen City lost to Oklahoma City. Had 4 picks in that game. Baltimore's defense all of a sudden keeping them in the game, but the offense has to step up. Out of the eye, Rastelli over to the fullback, who breaks the tackle and then just gets smacked. That's Greg Morso. Greg Morrison on the tackle, 2nd down and 4. Chad Morso, actually. My apologies. 2nd and 4 at the 41. Nice little pickup to the fullback for a 6-yard gain. Crabs really need a score. The last time these two teams met, Andy Hamilton had the ball. It was an absolute thriller, 38-35. Sidearm throw from Rastelli, sticks in to Kendall Gilbert. First down to the Corsair 48-yard line with 4:15 to go in the first half. An experience like no other, the SFL playoffs, Sunday, April 23rd, starting noon Central, 1 Eastern. A quadruple header of SFL action. Join Andy Hamilton, Stephen Mullinex, myself, Eric Vincent on the calls, all live on YouTube. That run from Robinson down to the Corsair 23-yard line, first down. Jesus Salvador with the tackle, but the Crabs are finding their legs. Really nice block from Mike Osai.
Showtime. First and 10.
3:35 to go. Right the pass, Rastelli, end zone, touchdown! Mike Osai and Kendall Gilbert have touchdowns on long throws against non-star corners, and Baltimore's back down by just 12. Really nice ball, not the most perfect of passes, as Osai took a shot at the end of that play.
Number 7.
But Baltimore able to make it happen.
Number 8 will hold the kick.
Extra point is good. Now, we have not talked about what the case would be if Baltimore won tonight's game. They would not clinch. They would still need either a win against Carolina next week or an Atlanta loss to St. Louis. Either or, they could achieve a playoff spot. But if they lose and Atlanta wins, they would be out. If Queen City gets a victory over Tallahassee and improves to 6-6, it would be Queen City and Atlanta in the playoffs. First and 10 at the 30. Either way, Queen City still controls its own destiny. If they win either tonight or next week against Tallahassee, they're in as either the number 3 or the number 4 seed. Atlanta would need a win and either a Baltimore loss or a Queen City loss to get in. And off to Marcus Boas, and Boas picks up 3. Carolina would need a win and a Queen City loss to get in. They would also need an Atlanta loss to get in. Carolina would still have hope, but they would need a couple of things to happen. They would need that anyway, even if Queen City won. Any way you slice it, Carolina's going to need help from 2 other games and a victory over Baltimore. And off the Boas, and Boas almost broke it. Eddie Gage says, sit your butt down. First down at the 41-yard line as Boas flexing for the camera. Mike Osai, Kendall Gilbert with touchdowns, Alexander Shayatovic, T.E. Haynes III, and Marcus Allen Boas with scores for the Corsairs. Caswell back to pass. Caswell sidearm throw caught by Legacy. He takes a big hit. Pickup of 6 yards. 2nd and 4 coming up as we approach the 2-minute warning. The Week 14 broadcast schedule will be finalized later tonight. We've reached the 2-minute warning. This is the SFL Network on YouTube. Caswell's rating plummeting down to 91, 147 yards, a couple of touchdowns, a couple of picks. Back-to-back drives with interceptions by Deshaun Miller and Jeffrey DeLue. 2nd down and 4 at the 48, handoff to Boas. Boas has a 1st down and more. Boas 35, 30, 25, 20. Marcus Allen Boas is in again! Touchdown! And the Corsairs, for the 6th time in 7 games, has scored over 30 points. Eddie Gage, poor angle. And Baltimore, despite getting 2 interceptions from their defense, right back where they started before the picks happened. And that's never good. The point is good. Boas has 3 rushing touchdowns in this half. He had 6 touchdowns last week. And Boas now has 25 touchdowns this season. Far and away more than any other running back this year. That beats David Overstreet's 24 touchdowns last season, which was an SFL record. And checking on that just to make sure, Ashley Anderson had 21 rushing touchdowns and 3 receiving touchdowns, so 24 total. But the 25 rushing touchdowns for Marcus Allen Boas is also now a new SFL single-season record for rushing touchdowns in a season, and Gilbert's catch is out of bounds. So look at Osai and Gilbert's numbers. DeMonte's well over the record now. He's the first player ever to have a 2,000-yard SFL rushing season. He's the first player ever to rush for 25 touchdowns. And he still has a game left to play against a Tallahassee team that's lost 2 in a row and is struggling defensively. Split backs on a 2nd and 10 for Rastelli. Rastelli quickly to the outside, caught by Osai, but he is carried out of bounds by his momentum after a 3-yard gain. 3rd down and 7 coming up. Looking for some defense. They are greedy. Rastelli to throw. Rastelli steps up and again just throws it out of bounds. Baltimore offense has been anemic here in the 2nd quarter, besides that one drive off of that interception. Marcus, actually, interestingly enough, his season high came against Baltimore. The last time these 2 teams played, he had 237 yards, but that's only the 8th best rushing performance this season in the SFL. So despite leading the league in rushing yards per game, he's never really had that game. As Haynes has a brilliant return on the punt for 43. He's never really had that game that has put him on the map, although he's had a game 237, 236, 213, 201, 201. 5 200-yard games, and he's working on his 6th here tonight. Gaswell will throw up 18. Pass caught Kovic. He's over 100 yards. There's an updated look at the sloppy quarterback numbers tonight. 2nd and 5 at the 48. Down to 1:12 to go in the first half, and Baltimore can't give up another score before they hit the locker room. Two in the backfield. Somebody needs to contain Marcus Boas, and they do. Shut down. Loss of a yard. Queen City will burn a timeout, and that is a rarity, folks. Queen City has scored 30 points or more in 34 points or more in 6 of their last 7 games. Their season high for points is 55. That came back in week 1 against St. Louis. 2 seconds to go in the first half. Caswell over the middle, nearly picked off. Humongous breaks it up on 3rd down, and Baltimore forces the first punt of the night on Queen City's 8th possession. Stephen Urmite needs to be turned up.
Deep to receive.
Let's go. Queen City will punt it away. From the 13, boy, Hackmeyer almost the ball. 42 seconds to go, and can another Baltimore bomb keep them in this game? I turned down the game volume just a little bit, but it's been in the same settings all season. It must be the roar of Queen City's crowd that we've heard all night. It's deafening me this evening. We're in the backfield for Baltimore. It's going to swing pass every time out of that formation, and it is again. The blocks, Robinson doesn't get it. Aspen Real locks him down, and the first half clock is running out. It's tough to watch here. Baltimore's got to give him something new. Again, 3 in the backfield. Mike Osai is off the field. Stelly to Robinson. Boy, that's wow. Loss of 3 yards. That's going to run out the clock. Don't put your stars on the field. You could be in trouble. That's the end of the first half, and Baltimore most certainly is in trouble. 35-17, Queen City all over their rivals from the Bay. First half stats and highlights are next. Baltimore will get the ball to start the second half. Marcus Allen Boas up to 208 yards rushing tonight. It's his 6th 200-yard game of the year. It's time to sim again. Start of the second half. Baltimore needs some second half magic. Josh Packmeyer, who does not have a kickoff return for a score this season, returns past the 30 and cracks the 31. Queen City can punch their ticket to the SFL playoffs tonight with a victory. They would clinch the number 3 seed, they cannot get number 2, and they would not fall to number 4. They would play either Tallahassee in the first round if they beat the Pride next week, or Sioux Falls in the first round if they lose to the Pride next week. Back to pass Rastelli over to Robinson. This time he has a lot of room on the outside. That's the most successful the swing pass has been all night. And that's a first down to the Crab 43-yard line as they got Queen City in the wrong defense. DJ McCoo, who's been really quiet, was the man that eventually got over there to make the stop. Morrison was coming in to help. If Queen City loses, Baltimore controls their destiny, win and in next week. If they lose, they'll need some help. Rastelli back to pass over to Robinson, got a block. Robinson 45 up to the 48-yard line, picking up 5 yards. Robinson just 27 yards on 12 catches here tonight. Queen City, even with a loss tonight, controls their destiny in the playoffs. Could still make it with a win over Tallahassee at 6-6, make the 4 seed, eliminate Atlanta and Carolina. As Rastelli's pass is caught by Josh Packmeyer over the middle. And I stand corrected, they would not eliminate Atlanta, they would eliminate Carolina. Packmeyer with a nice grab with DJ McCoo in coverage. This is a really strong second half opening drive for Baltimore. Quickly, nearly into scoring position, a minute and a half into the third quarter. Pass in the backfield, Rastelli over to Robinson, and Robinson is put down for a loss of a yard. Most boring play in SFL football when it's defended well. Espen Real, another tackle. Real is racking them up tonight. 2nd and 11. And he's hungry. High formation. 2 receivers, 1 to either side. Osai's at the bottom of the screen. Back to pass Rastelli. Rastelli down the middle. Pass is nearly intercepted. Gibson with the deflection. 3rd and long for Baltimore. They need to at least get into field goal range so they can cut the deficit to 2 scores, give themselves a chance. Still plenty of time left. We're at Conpro Field in Buffalo. 4 receivers in the formation. 3-2 defensive look for the Corsairs. Rastelli back to pass. Rastelli deep ball down the field. He's got Osai. Tackle at the 10. Andrew Rastelli, 28 of 34 for 188 yards, and the Crabs are in the red zone. Beautiful pass. Salvador late getting over there. If he would have put that more to the outside, Osai may be in for his 2nd touchdown of the night. But either way, Baltimore threatening. 34 passes for Rastelli. We've seen Robinson get a few carries, but not many here tonight. 1st and 10. Rastelli out route to Gilbert, caught. 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3 coming at the 4. So Gilbert with a nice grab. And Baltimore's keeping this a game. Three in the backfield. Gilbert, bottom of the screen for Rastelli. Offside, Queen City, free play. The screen is covered up, and Rastelli had nowhere to go. Boy, that's unfortunate. Queen City read that all the way as they're starting to pick up on the fact that Baltimore keeps running the swing out of that set.
Number 72, defense, half the distance to the goal.
The offside will put the ball on the 1.5 yard line. With a second down and one coming. That was Ed Ritter jumping off sides. 8:11 to go in the third.
Second and 1. Ball at the 1 yard.
High formation as Baltimore tries to punch it in and make things interesting here in the second half. Handoff Robinson, won't get in the end zone. What a tackle in the backfield. 39 yards on 6 carries for Robinson tonight.
3rd and 2. Ball at the
3rd and 2 at the 2. They can get the half-yard line for a first down. In the backfield, Rastelli will throw. Rastelli back corner of the end zone. Get those toes in, son. Kendall Gilbert. Touchdown, Crabs. A very, very short fade, and Woods defending the swing pass. That's how you set it up. Let Kendall Gilbert go, and Gilbert's got 13 touchdowns this season.
Number 7 is back to the point after. Number 8.
Gilbert knocking on Jalen Miller's door. He leads the league with 14. Extra point for the Crabs is good. 35-24 is the score. Last season, 16 touchdown receptions was the record. Scott King and Sultan Muhammad each had 16 grabs. The season before that, it was 16 touchdowns by Freeman Goodspeed of the Minneapolis Maulers. And the season before that, it was 11 touchdowns by James Cooley, A.J. Blaylock, and Greg Corky. So Gilbert 2 away from tying the record, as is Miller, with 1 game to go, and for Gilbert, a 1.5 added on as well. Well, let's see if Baltimore's defense can step up. Forced 2 turnovers in the first half. They took over 3 minutes off the clock on that opening drive of the third quarter. 35-24. Caswell will drop back the pass. Caswell over to the sideline. Oh, nearly taken back by Desert. Oh, man, he jumped that route, and I thought he was gone. Look at this. Bam. Cut it off. Hit him in the helmet off the deflection. Got to get 2 hands out on that one. Second down and 10 at the 29. With 7:32 to go in the third.
2nd and 10 from your Pirates, 30-yarder.
3 receivers. Haynes, top of the screen. Legacy's in the slot. Caswell back to pass, and Caswell fires down the middle. Somehow that's caught. First down to the 42. That's all reliable Jake Legacy. Making the play and moving the chains. Boy, that was really good timing by Caswell. Waited until Legacy crossed behind Castro Patron, who had dropped in coverage, and laid the ball right in there. Empty set. We have not seen Marcus Boas on this drive. Caswell to pass. Caswell deep ball down the field. It's ruled a catch by Shayatovic. I'm not so sure about that one.
22 yards on the play. First down, Pirates.
See if we get a challenge. We do. Tim Johnston doesn't like it either.
The Crabs are challenging. Whether the
Did not have a
pass
very
is
good angle
down.
in live action at all. In fact, it was almost completely off the screen. First glance, this did not look even close to a touchdown. I don't think he even got a single foot in bounds. You have to overturn that.
After review, the pass has been ruled incomplete. The catch was
Tim
made
Johnson's
out of
going to win
bounds.
his challenge.
The Crabs will not be charged with a timeout. Second
Every
down.
little bit of momentum helps. Down 11, 2nd and 10, instead of a first down into Baltimore territory.
2nd and 10. 42
Seen a lot of good challenges, a lot of successful challenges by coaches in recent weeks. Three receivers for Caswell, and Boas has the first carry of the second half. Picks up 6. Boy, he just makes 6 yards look easy, doesn't he?
6 yards.
Eddie Gage with the stop. Boas a little slow to get up, but he looks okay. Gage leading the SFL in tackles with 106 coming in.
48
Two backs, two receivers, third down, fourth, back to pass. Caswell over to Boas. He's got a lot of room. Boas has a first down, breaks a tackle, still won't go down. And Queen City moves the chains to the Crab 40. Boas again, not used often out in that swing game. Jeff Dezer in the house. It is Dezer, right, Jeff? I feel like maybe I've been getting that wrong all these years. Almost had a pick 6, already have an interception tonight. Off the post, breaks a tackle in the backfield, still going! Marcus Boas! Just straight silly! He has 10 touchdowns in the last 7 quarters. Who is going to stop this man? Oh, jeez. That is just filthy. Oh, and then Eddie Gage got shoved in the back. Did you guys see that? That was dirty right there. No flag called on that either. Eddie Gage totally away from the play. Got shoved in the back so hard that he fell over. And that didn't look like a flop either. Surprised that didn't start a fight down there. As Queen City goes back up by 18 points.
North Fire to pick up. On the 13th,
42-24, 6:06 to go in the third. Still plenty of time, but Baltimore just cannot get enough defensive stops to keep up tonight. Backfire to the 30. And Boas now has a career high. He's got to be over 250 at this point. Definitely crushed the record tonight. The rushing record for yards in a game was 313. Johnny English against Las Vegas earlier this year. Which cost us, if you remember. Rastelli over to Robinson. Robinson's got a lot of room. Robinson will not get a first down. Really nice job by Queen City closing that gap. 36 yards on 14 grabs for Robinson.
Second and 1 from the Crab, 39 yards.
Two backs, two receivers for Rastelli coming halfway through the third. Handoff to Sanzo, lost a yard. Eaten alive, Espen Ray out. He is the player of the game on defense, man.
He loses
This guy is everywhere tonight. 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2 from the 38 yard.
Rastelli, quick route to Osai to pick up the first down. Baltimore just wants to get some points here and just hope their defense has a couple more picks or forced fumbles in play. Definitely not out of it yet, but they gotta figure out a way to stop this Corsair offense. First and 10 of the 43. Rastelli back to pass. Rastelli over the middle, picked off. Picked off. Who is that's Rayel? He's got 2 of them tonight. All right, time to look up the career numbers of Espen Rayel. This boy is playing, man. Oh my goodness, this team is so dangerous. Espen Rayel in his career coming into the night had 1 pick. He has 2 in this game. Caswell somehow completes that for a 4-yard gain, scrambling away from traffic.
Second and 6.
Queen City's got 2 in the backfield. The time is starting to become a factor for Baltimore. Down 18, Boas takes the handoff. This time, Baltimore stretches it out nicely. Boas now 254 yards, is averaging a whopping 14 yards a carry. It's a season high for Boas, and it is now the 6th best rushing performance of the season. Next is 264 from Jake Calvin Kidd. Back to pass, Caswell, the pass is picked off at the 27, and Baltimore stays hanging around. That's a linebacker making a play. What is with all the linebacker interceptions? Castro Patron forced the bad pass on a blitz. That's the 2nd tackle for Alexander Shantovich tonight. Not necessarily player personnel director. Again, if Queen City wins tonight and they beat Tallahassee next week, they would actually be at Tallahassee in the first round, as the Pride would lose home field advantage in the conference. Sioux Falls has the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Pride after that shellacking they gave Tallahassee a couple of weeks back.
2nd and 2.
2nd down and 2. That's the 5th turnover of the night. That's the only thing keeping Baltimore in the game. 3:20 to go in the 3rd. Again, going to the screen well, and Rastelli goes down for a sack. 16th sack of the year by a star player. On this line, Jimmy Ritchie is the man that gets to Rastelli. 3rd down and 8, Conpro field crowd on their feet. Rastelli goes shotgun, haven't seen that much tonight. Just a 3-2 defensive look. Bait ball down the field, the pass is intercepted at the 40. Jesus Salvador came over to help. That's actually now the 7th interception tonight. Rastelli has 4 of them. And every time you think Baltimore's got another shot, they throw it away. A roller coaster of emotions tonight for Crab supporters. as they've had a lot of opportunities to legitimately get back into this game, and they just cannot seem to get over the hump. And Boas. Boas gets 8 yards, up to 262. Now 2 yards away from the 5th best rushing performance this season around the league. SFL postgame show coming up later tonight. Week 13 will be in the books. We will officially know all of the scenarios in play for Week 14. Discuss your team situation with us on the show as Boas runs for another first down. Now the 5th best rushing performance of the season. Baltimore's defense just simply cannot stop this man. An experience like no other. The SFL playoffs begin Sunday, April 23rd. A quadruple header starting at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Andy Hamilton, Eric Vincent, myself, Stephen Mullinex, all along for the ride with you here live on YouTube as Caswell dumps it off to Boas, and Boas took a vicious shot. Loss of 2 and out of field goal range. Baltimore still has a glimmer of hope, but they most certainly need a stop here. A back and forth high-octane game. Empty set for Caswell, back to pass down the field, knocked away. Very nice job by Tyleek Jones, the former Mauler, to swat that down. Haynes with 3 catches on 5 targets, 3rd and long.
Third and 12 from the crowd, 34 yards.
Receivers for Caswell. Caswell steps up in a pocket. That's knocked away. Deser with the deflection, and Baltimore's defense gets a stop. Crabs continue to stay in it. Bo Davis will punt it away.
Number 13 is deep to receive.
Trying to pin the Crabs deep. Short. 12 and then run in at the 14-yard line by a host of Corsairs. Here's Pac-Man. Coming down on the end of the 3rd. Again, breaking down the scenarios here in the East. If Queen City wins, they clinch the number 3 seed. They would play Tallahassee in the first round. If they beat Tallahassee next week, they would play Sioux Falls in the first round if they lose to Tallahassee next week. First and 10 for 14. Rastelli to pass. Down the field. Caught, but going backwards is Kendall Gilbert, who only picks up 5 yards. It's been that kind of night for Baltimore. But Baltimore comes back and wins in a thriller here in the 4th quarter. Baltimore would control their own destiny. Beat Carolina, they are in. Queen City would still control its own destiny. Beat Tallahassee, and they're in. Atlanta would need a win and a Baltimore loss to make the playoffs, as Robinson's going to get first down on that catch. Carolina would need a win over Baltimore, a Queen City loss, and an Atlanta loss to get in. And in the scenario that Queen City wins, Carolina would need a win over Baltimore and an Atlanta loss to St. Louis. So actually, if Queen City wins, Carolina would need less to happen to get into the playoffs. That's pretty interesting. If I was a Carolina Skyhawk, I'd be cheering hard for Queen City, since you need an Atlanta loss anyway. But if Baltimore wins, you would also be Queen City knows. Robinson bouncing off the tacklers, picks up 2 yards. Salvador makes the play. That was the end of the third quarter while I was yapping. Crabs need to go with some pace here. Houston almost came back from an 18-point deficit with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter last night, but too little too late. Baltimore probably knows that. As Robinson, they're not playing like it, catches another pass, 16 catches. He's averaging 3 yards a catch. He's probably averaging 5 or 6 yards a carry, but has way more catches than carries here tonight. It's 3rd and 7. Once again, the Crabs are in a 3rd and long situation. Baltimore's 6th in the SFL in 3rd down conversions. Rastelli wide open, first down. Hits big number 87, that's Daley Holder. And actually, I stand corrected, I believe Ishan Shah was the man that had the 2 catches earlier in the game. I may be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that was number 88 earlier. So my mistake. 1st and 10 for Baltimore for the 43, but we've got 9:30 and counting. How many times have we seen this tonight? Another pass out to Robinson. Just a gain of 3 yards. For a while, Swing City was trending in the SFL, but boy, it's taken a sharp turn, especially this season, where it's been far less effective. 2nd and 7 at the 45 as defenses have learned to adjust. Stelly over to Robinson, and Robinson's got a partial head full of steam. He looks gassed, looks exhausted. He's basically running L routes, which is like running 12 yards to get 3 or 4. And it's 3rd down and 2 at the 50. 8.5 to go in the 4th. Baltimore's had the ball now for 2.5 minutes, and they're not even on Queen City's side of the field. Again, Rastelli over to Robinson, and I don't know what that lineman was doing. That was Ed Ritter. Ed Ritter looking straight up banned on that play. As Robinson picks up the 1st down. That is really unbelievable. Morrison cleans up his teammate's mistake, but Baltimore's drive basically stays alive due to the ineptitude of a star player for the Corsairs. Robinson will take the handoff, and that's a loss of 2, and I actually think Robinson's out of the game. Robinson's so exhausted, he has taken a seat on the bench. And Baltimore is acting like they still have 2 more quarters left in this game. We're down to 7:45 to go in the 4th. This is their longest drive of the night at the worst possible time. 2nd down and 12. Still in it. They just have to put some points on the board. Rastelli down the field, nearly picked off. Gilbert, the intended target. He's caught almost everything thrown his way tonight. 3rd and long. Not that time. Stenzo Woods Jr. knocks it away. Again, SFL postgame show coming up. Following this game, discuss your team's situation, your scenario, your biggest fears, your biggest excitements about week 14. Rastelli hit his through. What a pass! What a pass! Kendall Gilbert with his 9th grab of the night, and Rastelli put a bullet on him. Rastelli got hit hard. In fact, he got hit so hard that he disappeared after he threw that play. Hit into another dimension. 1st and 10 to the Corsair 26, so worst case scenario, barring a turnover, Baltimore will make it a 2-possession game with still plenty of time left. But boy, they have taken a ton of time off this clock on this drive, and they are back to Swing City. That was a late hit on Rastelli, no call. Boy, Queen City's gotten away with a couple of cheap shots tonight. That's just another 2-yard gain, and Robinson is still out of the game. Maybe he's hurt. Still not in on this play. I believe that's Montgomery in the backfield. This drive is over 5 minutes long. Again, another handle. A loss of 2 yards, 3rd down and 10. Just no sense of urgency. Baltimore putting themselves in a huge bind. If they win tonight, they control their own destiny. If they lose tonight, they got to win and get a loss from Atlanta against St. Louis. Carolina has been no slouch recently. Deep ball, Rastelli. Pass is picked in the end zone. A drive that lasts over 5 minutes is ended by a Morris Gibson interception as the fade for the 2nd time tonight is picked off by Queen City. Fades and swings, the death of Baltimore. There's an updated look at Boas' numbers. 267 yards of rushing tonight. And Caswell's pass is caught by Ritter. Finally, Ritter makes a grab. The 267 is now the 5th best rushing performance. Market's now trying to catch his brother at 271 against Alaska way back in January. And Baltimore turns the ball over 5 times tonight. 5.5 to go in the 4th. Picks up 1. So now he's at the 268 on 21 carries. Davidson on the tackle.
Second and 8 from your Pirates, 41-yard line.
4 receivers. Caswell out to Boas, picks up 3. 4:42 and counting, the clock is running. Well, it looks like Queen City's going to the playoffs for the 6th time in 8 years. In 8 seasons, rather.
3rd and 5.
Trying to capture its 4th title. They're going to have to do it as a 3 seed. The Queen City's already done this as a 3 seed. Beat Sioux Falls on the road a couple of seasons back. Then, thanks to Baltimore beating Minneapolis, got to host the Eastern Conference Final and beat the Crabs in overtime to advance to the championship, where they played Houston and smoked them. And I believe the final of that game was this exact score, 42-24. Queen City will have to punt. Hang around, SFL postgame show coming up. Don't go just yet. We want to hear from you. We haven't really gotten into what's at stake in the West yet tonight. Can do a little bit of that as well. Dallas can clinch the #1 seed with a victory over LA. Alaska can clinch the #1 seed with a victory over OKC and a Dallas loss. Houston can clinch a playoff spot with a win over OKC. LA will need a Houston loss and an LA victory over Dallas. Mexico City is in right now at the #4 spot. They could move up to #3, depending upon how things shake out. And Vegas and OKC are out. Deep pass, Rastelli almost caught off the tip pass. Intended for Gilbert. Morrison got his hands on it. 3:18 left.
Second and 10 from the crowd. 19 yards.
Queen City will definitely be the most experienced team of the bunch in the postseason. Back to pass. Rastelli over to Robinson. And Robinson's cut down for a 5-yard gain. 3:08 and counting. No auto offense finally for Baltimore. Rastelli to pass. Rastelli deep down the field. Picked again. Oh my goodness. Greg Morrison still running. 6 interceptions for Andrew Rastelli, and that'll put a fork in him. Rastelli now has 3 consecutive games with multiple interceptions. Coming into the game, his career worst performance was 3 picks. He has 6 tonight. Caswell going to keep throwing. Caswell, oh boy, almost had another touchdown. Missouri knocks it away, and Queen City is staying very aggressive. I don't think that point differential will factor in to any sort of tiebreaker. Queen City will have swept the Baltimore Crabs, will have beaten Atlanta in their only meeting. So it's 6-5. The only teams that potentially could catch them are Baltimore and Atlanta. Queen City is off themselves, so it really doesn't matter how many points they score at this point, because they're not going to need that tiebreaker in the playoffs. But this is a rivalry. Queen City has already taken a couple of cheap shots on Baltimore tonight. That pass was the 3rd one on 1st down. Boas with a 4-yard handoff, although the way Boas has been running tonight, maybe the idea of running the clock out is by Caswell passing. Back to the handoff, Boas. Boas will get a couple more yards to his total. With the 2-minute warning, Queen City will kick a field goal to go up by 21. And the post-game show will begin as soon as the game goes final, once we start running down stats and second half highlights.
Number 3 will come in to attempt a field goal from 26 yards. Number 8 will hold the kick.
Baltimore's franchise worst losing streak will continue as the bottom has fallen out. Crabs under 500. This field goal is 43 yards away for Bo Davis. Good. That's a 21-point margin. Baltimore got closer than 18 once and had a chance to get even closer and could not capitalize. In the last 2 weeks, Queen City has beaten Sioux Falls 52-17 and Baltimore 45-24. If you haven't started to take notice, you might want to do so. From the 6, Backmeyer to the 28. Well, it'll be an interesting week 14. Baltimore and Carolina, obviously a lot on the line there. St. Louis trying to play spoiler to Atlanta. Atlanta just has to take care of business. Queen City, Tallahassee is obviously going to determine a lot and could be a precursor to the first round of the playoffs. in the West. Alaska trying to get first place and as an expansion team. They're going to be taking on Vegas, who's always a tough out. Those two teams played in overtime about a month ago. Oklahoma City is going to be facing off against Houston as the Hyenas try to take care of business in LA against Dallas. Looking for some help. Dallas looking for some positioning. That's another pick. That's 7, folks. Wow. And how many by non-star corners? At least 3. Stenzo Woods Jr. with the interception. Does not look like we have in the record books a record for interceptions, at least for the season. Backers are in for Queen City.
Number 45 with the carry. Pick up a 1 on the play. Number 21. Predators with the tackle.
Baltimore calling for time. Weeding out their timeouts.
Second and 8. Ball at the 43 yards.
Baltimore will give up 45 or more points for the second time in 3 weeks. 38 or more points for the third time in 4 weeks. 2 of those games against Queen City. And even the backups are putting in work. That's another first down, and that may do it.
Pick up a 10 yards on the play. First down, Pirates.
So Boas, I believe, will finish just shy of 270. We'll get the final numbers here shortly. And we've got victory formation, so we're going to open up
47 yards.
the lines for the SFL postgame show. Call in, discuss your team, discuss your scenario. Where do you sit in the playoff conversation? Open line 210-473-8428. The SFL postgame show is on the air. Our first caller of the night is Eric Vincent of the Atlanta Swarm. Eric, how you doing?
Good, Cam. How about you, man?
Pretty good. Well, what'd you think? Were you happy with Queen City getting the win instead of Baltimore? How does that fare for Atlanta, in your view, in your opinion?
That was what we needed. We needed Baltimore to lose. Since we had the tiebreaker over them, we beat them earlier this season. And honestly, I was just looking for a great game, and it turned out to be that towards the first half, just a tale of two halves, honestly. It looked like it was going to be a shootout, and then things just turned into a trading turnovers back and forth kind of thing.
So, boy, who would have thought, right, that week 1 game where we were like, wow, Baltimore, like Atlanta's really taking it to them, and then we play like 3 months worth of games. Here we are again saying, wow, like Baltimore is like really struggling, and Atlanta owns that tiebreaker. Like every game matters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I wouldn't have thought, when we won that opening game, I thought it was a great measuring stick for, what to expect out of the team for the rest of the year, because Baltimore is always great. But it just turned into kind of an off year, I guess, for the Crabs this year. And, that's not saying that they don't put in a bunch of hard work. I know everyone does. But just sometimes the chips don't fall your way.
If Atlanta beats St. Louis, they will have won back-to-back games for the first time all season. This team has really struggled to establish momentum. And a few weeks ago, that game against St. Louis, you're thinking, yeah, St. Louis, that's who I want to play in the last week of the season. Now I'm not really so sure.
No, not so sure anymore. They've certainly stepped up their defense the past couple weeks. I don't think they've allowed more than 20 points the past 2 weeks. Earlier in the year when Funk threw his, I think it was 6 touchdown passes, 7 touchdown passes, something like that. We were like, oh shoot, this is who we want to play to make sure that we get a win, but not so much anymore. It's definitely going to be a battle.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, Eric, as we watch the final play, and that's going to be a knock-away incomplete pass. What a shocker there for Rastelli. He had a really rough night. That's the ball game. Queen City, congratulations, clinching a playoff spot. They took care of business against Atlanta a few weeks ago. And here we go again. The greatest team in SFL history is back for more.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Queen City, you do not want to play them right now. They are on fire.
All right, Eric. Well, we'll look forward to breaking down what will be a thrilling Week 14 slate of games here once the post-game show concludes. And thanks for the call. Good luck next week.
Looking forward to it, man.
All right, open line now, 210-473-8428. We've gotten Atlanta's perspective on where they stand in the playoffs. Let's get another team's here on the post-game show as we're watching final highlights and stats scroll across your screen of Queen City's 45-24 triumph tonight. Espen Real, he's my player of the game. I know Boas had a sensational night, set the record. 276 yards is where Boas ends up on the grand scale of records. Let's see, that will end up being the, let me get to it here, the 4th best rushing performance of the season, bested only by Johnny English, Justin Beakley Jr., and Doug Boas. The best rushing performance since March 5th in a game that I called when Beakley Jr. went off for 308 yards against the Gladiators. 210-473-8428. Let's talk about where your team stands in the SFL playoffs as we head to the final week of the regular season. Pretty impressive showing tonight once again from Queen City. If you have not seen Queen City in prime time over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and this was sort of your first taste, this is not the first time we've seen the Corsairs do this, not only this season, but historically. Queen City just finds it at the end of the year. They find something. It's just pretty remarkable. Eric Barkley, the owner of Queen City, is now on a call.
Good evening, Cam. Good evening, SFL Nation.
Eric, how do you do this, man? It's like you find the magic potion about week 8, and then it's just like, let's go, you know?
I think part of the equation is I change things up way too much season to season. So it takes me a little bit to kind of dial things in, and
right.
That's probably a fault of mine a little bit, because I just like to do different things, and I've some circumstances have come around, and things have happened and started to work out this year. So I want to throw my hat off to TJ specifically tonight, because he's one of the classiest guys in the SFL, and he's done a lot for the league, and there's a lot of people that are here because of him. So I give it up to him, and I don't think we would maybe be where we are if we didn't have guys like quality guys like him. And there's a bunch of guys like him. I'm just picking on him tonight because that's who he played, but it was a good battle, and we came out on top. So
yeah, it's almost tough to watch Baltimore going through their struggles. Every team goes through these slumps. It's bound to happen, and the Crabs are just in one right now, and it's sort of like watching your heroes, like show mortality almost. But Queen City has not shown much mortality recently. You clinch your 6th playoff spot in 8 seasons. The last time you clinched a playoff spot was last year, number 4 seed. Obviously, you ran into a juggernaut in Louisville who was sort of on a blistering pace, and then sort of ran out of gas in the championship game. But the season prior, got in as a 3 seed, had to go on the road for that first game, and then ended up hosting the Eastern Conference final. But You've been in this position before. There isn't a position probably that you haven't been in at this point, is there?
No, I think if you look back at some of the stats and stuff, and this is off the top of my head, I would agree. I think we've been a little bit of everywhere and seen a little bit of everything. So it's I feel pretty lucky and blessed. We have lots of people that work really hard in this league, and we have a ton of teams and ton of owners and ton of coordinators and ton of players, and that self-admittedly or work harder than me or more involved than me and stuff. So, I just feel pretty lucky that I've been able to be in some of the situations, that we've been in.
I still have a WAFL shirt that Ronnie Nickens made that says 2012 on it, and it has the team logos and everything, and it has a Corsair helmet on it. And can you believe that we've been doing this? We've been running successful seasons now for 6 years. I can't believe we're still doing this.
Yeah. That's absolutely amazing. If you would have asked me, way back when the first WAFL was the Syracuse Six Nations,
2010,
one of the only team that didn't take the field in week one. Never actually saw them play, but I was an official of the team. I would have never guessed that things would have evolved this far. My hat's off to you, Cam, because you had that vision with Backbreaker so many years ago. And there have been people that have come and gone, and people that have been, said yes and said no, and being so lucky to kind of see the whole arc of what's going on has been pretty special, and it's just really neat, the community that's here, and the things on the news, and the now everything's streaming on YouTube, and the exposure, and it's borderline amazing, and I just feel pretty special and blessed to kind of be part of it and along for the ride, and seeing where everything goes.
Well, I'm blessed you're still here. My last question for you is, who do you want to play in the first round? If you beat Tallahassee, then you have to turn around and play them again, right back in Tallahassee. So you got to go down to Florida, then you might as well stay there. Hopefully your team doesn't get on a yacht or anything. And then you've got to play Tallahassee again. If you lose to Tallahassee, you lose some of that momentum heading into the playoffs. You got to go back to Sioux Falls, who you just defeated, granted, but Sioux Falls is hungry. They've been eliminated in a home playoff game 2 straight seasons, one of those seasons by Queen City. They're going to come and bring their A game too. So who would you rather play in the first round? It's all up to the Queen City Corsairs.
Oh gosh, I don't think I'd rather play any team. I'd rather just skip right to the championship if possible. Those are two guys that are highly involved, and they put a ton of time in, doing their research and tweaking their game plans and stuff. I think either draw is, especially on the road, either draw is a huge challenge for us, and I don't relish either one of them because obviously we're the underdog. Those guys have had established seasons. They're depending on what's happened the last few weeks and stuff, they're both great teams, and they're guys they're students of APF and the game, and I don't think either one is an easy choice. So I just hope that regardless of wherever we end up, and whatever happens next week, obviously we still have a week left in the season. Some things can happen, and to see where things go, but I don't think either way it's going to be an easy, or I'm favoring one over the other. I think it'd be an easier answer if you were saying, hey, you're playing one team at home and one team on the road, but because obviously you always want to play in your own building, but on the road in the SFL playoffs, anything can happen, and especially two franchises like that, and two owners, coordinators, coaches like that, neither one's going to be tough sledding.
No corners, 3D linemen. Is it working out for you now?
It's okay. Recently, I will say, we made a few small changes defensively, and recently we've been able to get the defensive line haven't been getting a ton of stats, but over probably the last 4 or 5 games, we've been able to cause a few more turnovers. So I think that's positive. Will the Queen City defense look the same next year? Probably not. Am I happy with our personnel and our play selection stuff where we are right now? Probably. That being said, if there's anybody out there in SFL lands, I posted this on Slack, but I'm actively, I'd like somebody to come in. This is me giving away some power, but I would like someone to come in, be part of our family and take over the defense, help us with personnel decisions. So if anybody out there is interested, shoot me a message. We can talk and see where everything is, and kind of go from there.
Oh, that'd be a pretty sweet gig playing for the 3-time champs. Eric, always great to have you. Say hi to the wife and kids for me, will you? And
I definitely will do.
Yeah, we will talk to you later. See you next week for the big game against Tallahassee.
All right, thanks, Cam.
All right, that was Eric Barkley, owner of the Queen City Corsairs. Busy family life. Happy that he got a chance to call in, watch his big game tonight. 210-473-8428. We've heard from Atlanta. We've heard from Queen City. Who else wants to give their thoughts on where their team stands through 13 weeks of the SFL regular season and talk a little playoff football with me? The line is open. Looking at some other numbers, 484 is on the call. Who do I have?
Andrew Rastelli.
Okay, Andrew. What happened tonight?
I'm just really tired.
59 passes.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I started throwing the other team. Someone had to catch him eventually, right? Wow. Yeah, definitely did not come into that game thinking about that kind of performance. The score was in the other direction, but it was right around what I was kind of thinking. But, man, great game from Queen City. They're on a roll, and they have the eyes on the prize, man.
Got Carolina next week. You do need some help, though. So while you're probably a little upset still at St. Louis for beating you, now you have to turn around and be fans of them.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone is rooting for St. Louis next week except for Atlanta, it seems like.
Right.
Everybody. And Atlanta now has their hands full. St. Louis has really turned their game around, and I know Liam Crowder has stepped in on defense and has really helped them turn that into something that it could have been all season, and it's really great to see.
It's just, as I said earlier with Eric Barkley on the call, it's really almost tough to watch this Baltimore Crab team just because they've been so good for so long. It's almost unbelievable that I'm watching Baltimore get beat like this. Do you feel sort of that shell shock in your locker room with these guys that have been here for so long?
Oh, absolutely. And we were on a 5-game winning streak, 2 months ago?
Right.
We were in the middle we were the second best team in the league, easily. And because Sioux Falls was having trouble around that same time, and it was kind of, those are the top 3 teams. And all of a sudden, it just fell out from under us. We started to tumble, and the other teams didn't. And that's kind of what hurt us the most.
Now, let's get some perspective. You're also involved with the SFL off the field. I know that you are bound to secrecy and can't share anything with the league, but you know that there are some big things coming down the pike for the SFL. How energized are you for the playoffs? Obviously, be much more energized if Baltimore can squeeze in, beat Carolina, get an upset, and get in there and have a chance because anything can happen then. But how excited playoffs are not for you personally are you for this time of the year?
Man, I can't tell you how great these playoffs are going to be, regardless of who's in them. This is shaping up to be such a great finish to this season that it looked like a couple teams are going to run away with it. But then the West was so tight, and then the East ended up so tight at the end in order to grab these last two spots. And I know that the presentation for the playoffs is going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. So make sure that you guys tune in for the playoff games. Whatever happens to your team, make sure you tune in because the SFL really has some great stuff stacked up for it.
Yeah, we definitely have never really had brilliant playoff numbers. Some people like to tune out once they're eliminated from contention, but we hope that that's not the case this year. We hope we've built, a better community and a better family to keep people around longer and more interested in more things. So we'll find out. But Andrew, rough night tonight. You definitely have never had a night like that in your career, and you probably never will again. So shake it off, and we'll see you next week against Carolina.
All right, man. Thank you, and I'll see you around.
All righty. Open line 210-473-8428. Have not heard from anybody in the West. It'll be our last caller of the night. Do we have anybody from the Western Conference here to call in and talk about their situation? If not, that's okay. We'll stay on an East binge here tonight as the Eastern Conference has become very intriguing very quickly. This is Shan Varner for Carolina. We'll go ahead and take one last Eastern Conference team. How you doing, Shan?
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Well, I saw you were sort of a Crab fan tonight. Care to explain why?
Man. Well, I don't know. The rivalry's big between us and Baltimore, but when it comes down to it, you have to show some love where you need to. I decided to be a Crab fan tonight, so, I was hoping they would pull it off.
There you go. Well, they didn't pull it off, and now Carolina needs to beat Baltimore, and you need a loss from Atlanta. You're another one of those St. Louis fans. St. Louis will have more people watching their game in Week 14 than they have all season. Everybody's fired up over St. Louis trying to pull the upset against Atlanta. How do you think their chances are, especially after Atlanta had a really nice showing this past week?
I think they came in with some really strong teams and been in games where people would not think they would be in. I mean, they were in the first half with us. They was in 3 quarters with Sioux Falls, one of the best teams in the East. I think if they could just get their offense going, I think they'd be dangerous, really.
Yeah, they've definitely really improved things on the defensive side of the ball here recently. By the way, shout-outs to Vancouver Legion, I'm Effing Problem, Eric Vinson, and Flava 2K, along with the St. Louis Gladiators, tweeting us tonight on Twitter. Thank you guys for your support. But Carolina, man, this has been a long road. If you guys, first off, Mexico City makes the playoffs after a 1-5 start. You guys were 1-7. If you make the playoffs after a 1-7 start, that's some bad news Bears type junk right there. That is probably the greatest comeback story in sports history, especially if you can win a game or 2 once you get there, or 3.
Yeah. Or yeah. That would be great. I think that St. Louis does have a chance. I think we have a chance against Baltimore. Was it Andrew's night tonight? But he's still dangerous. I mean, you have to look at the crowds as not being just them losing this game or that game. you have to look to them as playoff contention team. So you have to go in and game plan and play them just like you would any other team that you're trying to face.
Right, absolutely. No doubt about that. Carolina's got that huge game against the Crabs. We'll find out where it sits on the broadcast schedule here, probably within the next hour or so. So, Shan, best of luck to you in Week 14 in that big battle with the Crabs. And if you do, sir, somehow lead as a head coach the Carolina Skyhawks to the playoffs by winning out after 1-7. Somebody's got to get you a medal. That would be pretty impressive.
An SFL medal. I would gladly take it.
All right, Shan, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Good luck this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Sorry about that, folks. We're still getting calls, but we got to shut it down. It's 9:10. Production meeting coming up to determine Week 14's schedule, which is always epic. Tonight's final score, Baltimore 24, Queen City 45. Thanks for joining us on the SFL Postgame Show and all throughout the night on Tuesday Night Football on YouTube. I'm SFL Commissioner and play-by-play commentator Cameron Irvine, and this has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League. From all of us at Conpro Field in Buffalo, New York, congrats to the Queen City Corsairs, who clinched their 6th playoff spot in franchise history. Congrats to Marcus Allen Boas, becoming the first SFL running back to have 2,000 yards in a season. From our SFL headquarters in Denton, Texas, good night, everybody.